Hi everybody, how are you all this weekend? I hope you're all well. The sun is out today, not that it means much because it is still cold. At least it is bright when I look outside and not this grey, glum, misty shade of depression. Anyway, after the busy and emotionally hectic day we had yesterday, I don't feel much like scratching about looking for gossip or sending out DMs and email in the hope of getting a tidbit of new information. Instead, I just want to chat and, of course, about what else than Meghan and Harry. When I first heard that Meghan and Harry were having lunch with Cameron Diaz and Gwyneth Paltrow and their husbands, I really thought it was a bit odd. I mean, why would they? When did they meet? Have they ever worked together? What would they have in common? I thought that maybe it was a business meeting, but now I'm told it is once again a porky, a flying pig of a lie. Allegedly, Harry and Meghan arrived just as Cameron Diaz and her husband were leaving. Notice the valet sign. According to someone I'll call SP, Cameron and Benji were waiting for their vehicle, and Harry and Meghan's vehicle was just being driven away. So, click click, Baba trick, a paparazzi was right there at that very moment to take that photograph and spin a story. Well, I will leave that to your imagination. But for me, judging by the photographs, it does not look like the two couples were actually together. And a passerby also said all she saw when Harry and Meghan left at approximately 7 p.m. was Harry following his wife out, getting into a black SUV which was waiting for them on Coast Village Road, and that is that. Then they left, and this person did not see any interaction between Harry, Meghan, and or anyone else. So there is that. Make of that what you will. Okay, and then there is the multitude of stories about Harry and Meghan breaking up and heading for divorce. Now, all of this comes down to one of two things. It is either real and true, or it is, again, stories planted for attention. Now, I can't exactly remember. I mean, I can go look back and find the specific video, but like I said, I'm not up to much today. But I think it was in March this year, just after the Uplift Summit in San Francisco, that I was told by more than one person that Harry and Meghan are having serious problems. There was a person who told me that they had it on good authority that Harry and Meghan were splitting their businesses and estates. There was also a person who told me that a friend's husband and his colleagues attended the summit and met Harry afterward. According to them, he made a few snarky remarks about the wife. But they were honest and did say that he could maybe just have tried to be funny and fit in with the guys. But he definitely did not talk like a man who was in love. I also heard other stories about him flirting with other women at polo. Most significant, though, was something from a person who had dealings with Meghan during the taping of the Archetype podcast. According to that person, there was a change from before the Queen's death to after the Queen's death. Now, I'm not going to say what this person's role was, but she noticed some oddities. Nothing definite, just behavior and verbiage. In the few times that she or he had to go to the mansion, he or she did not once run into Harry, saw no sign of him or heard him, nothing. Another time there was a bit of a noise and Megan excused herself and said it was Harry visiting with the children. And another time Megan cut an impromptu meeting short, saying that she had to go out and meet her husband. This person thus got the impression that Harry was not living there or that something was not exactly normal. The other thing is that, except for the one reference to Harry and the children, in the months this person had interactions with Megan, Megan did not ever reference Harry or the children in normal everyday conversation. Not that they had many of those either. Allegedly, Megan is all business and not really into chit-chatting with employees, not even when they are employed by someone else and don't really work for her. Anyway, I also know that Lady C was told similar stories, as she alluded to some of it in her videos at the time. I also know for a fact that we were not told about Harry and Meghan splitting their assets by the same person. And I know this because I asked the person who told me whether she also told Lady C, and she said no. So that means that two people who do not know each other came out with the same thing at the same time. Although it is 100% possible that Megan herself planted or acted out these stories, I did feel that given the timing of when these stories started coming out, namely before and after their Netflix documentary, that there was likely some truth to it. Because in the documentary, they played this supportive couple who are still madly in love. But then again, filming on the docu-series finished in August, and everyone I got information from told me the noticeable changes came after they returned to the United States from the Queen's funeral. Now, these stories about Harry having a room and a bungalow permanently booked absolutely plays right into what I was told by this one person who worked with Megan on Archetype, namely that Harry is not around much. So the fact that these stories come months apart from completely different sources also indicates to me that there is some measure of truth in it, at least some truth in some of the rumors, if you understand what I mean. I think Megan is as hard to live with as she is to work for, and maybe even harder and more difficult. However, there's something else. Suddenly, Doria and Marcus are also around more, and this also seems to follow a pattern or the same trend as in the past. Doria and Marcus would be around more whenever there is trouble. Now, I know this because I know of one particular incident when Harry had taken off, and where it was Doria and not Megan who was on the phone to him day in and day out. Now, that particular incident was just before the alleged miscarriage, okay, which was also why I doubted the miscarriage when it came out in Megan's essay. In my opinion, it is quite possible that Megan faked a pregnancy again to get Harry to come back, and therefore had to have another miscarriage. Maybe the bleeding was just her normal cycle. Who knows? Anyway, I think Doria and Marcus being around more regularly and more prominently lately is indeed very significant. I'm also told that there is some truth in the story that Harry and Meghan are working on a film. Not a series, more like a cinematic movie for Netflix streaming on their life in the royal family. Yes, all 7 minutes of it. Well, according to the email I received, it is something they started a long time ago. Megan even hinted at it when she spoke about what advice and tips she would give someone playing her. So it is my humble opinion that we are still going to see Megan's rictus grin and Harry looking ready to explode for the next few months, and therefore I think that we'll likely only hear something being confirmed. I'm talking about the split towards the end of the year. They will finish these projects first, I assume, collect the money, and then officially announce the split. That is all in my humble, very humble opinion. Okay, guys and girls, please go right ahead and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And take care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.